Robert Owen was an industrialist who believed capitalism could be made cooperative. His story, like many others, is a part of a larger arc. This is Stories from the Co-op Evolution, a series exploring the people, principles, and turning points of a different kind of economy. Robert Owen was born in Wales in 1771. He didn't come from wealth. He left school early, taught himself, and by the age of 20, he was managing a cotton mill. Soon after, he became part owner of New Lanark, a mill in Scotland that would become one of the most important social experiments of its time. What Owen did at New Lanark was radical. He banned child labour under 10. He reduced working hours. He improved housing, sanitation, and created schools and nurseries for workers' children. But this wasn't charity. It was part of a deeper belief. Owen believed that character is formed by environment. He thought that if you place people in the right conditions, nurturing, stable, cooperative conditions, they'll grow into cooperative citizens, moral, productive, self-disciplined. And for a time it worked, but later events would challenge that belief. New environments didn't always lead to harmony. People still brought their differences, their power struggles, their wounds. The setting mattered, but it wasn't everything. As Owen's influence grew, so did his ambitions. He wanted to scale the model. Not just better factories, but whole villages of cooperation. Self-sufficient communities built around shared labour, shared ownership, and mutual care. To do it, he tried to persuade those in power. He met with political leaders, industrialists, and wealthy patrons, believing that reason would prevail, that if he could show them the success of New Lanark, they would invest in something better. But they didn't. To most of them, his ideas were a threat to the natural order. Cooperation meant shared power, and that was never part of their plan. But this is where the story starts to shift, because Owen's model, for all of its idealism, was deeply paternalistic. He designed these communities from the top down. He believed the people should live differently, but he didn't trust them to govern differently. He was the planner, the guide. He believed if the structure was sound, people would follow. Harmony would come. But not everyone agreed. One of his key critics was William Thompson. Thompson came from wealth too, but he became one of the first to call himself a socialist. He respected Owen's intent, but not his method. For Thompson, change had to come from below. It had to be built by the people it was meant to serve. Democratic, voluntary, self-organised. In Thompson's eyes, Owen's vision, however generous, still reproduced the same problems. Power concentrated at the top, handed down by those who already had it. Eventually, Owen put his money behind the idea. He funded a village of cooperation in the United States, a place called New Harmony in Indiana. At first, it looked like it might work, but within a few years, the experiment collapsed. Why? Because New Harmony wasn't built to govern itself. When he left, passing it on to his son, it didn't have the structure or unity to hold together. People disagreed, systems broke down, and the community dissolved. This became a turning point. It showed the limits of benevolent leadership, especially when people aren't given the tools to lead themselves. And yet, despite everything, Owen's legacy is enormous. He helped spark the British cooperative movement. He influenced early trade unions. He shaped the conversation around fair labour, education, and shared wealth. But he was also caught in between. Too radical for the elite. Too authoritarian for the grassroots. Too optimistic for the realists. Too structured for the anarchists. Still, he mattered, and his story matters, because not all failed experiments are failures. Some are just early attempts, unfinished chapters in a longer evolution. And his movement, the one we're part of, owes him a place in that story.